Hi, and welcome to Mic Drop Insights and Lessons from CI Thought Leaders. My name is Gary Cox. I am your host, and I'm also the author of the book, Cultivating Champions of CI, a leader's toolbox for creating a continuous improvement culture. Today on the show, my guest is Mike Haley, and I'm super excited to bring Mike to you because his extensive knowledge in digital twins of an organizations, or DTs or DTOs, is so wide. I have got multiple episodes with Mike around this topic. And today he's going to talk to us about what a DTO is, what is a digital twin, and why your organization needs one, and how it plays such a critical role in effective continuous improvement. Well, Mike, thanks for joining me today. I am really excited to have you on the program. You and I go back a little bit now. We've spent some time together, worked with some clients, and I'm excited to be able to share with viewers your knowledge on digital twin.
We're pleased to be here for sure.
So tell folks a little bit about yourself and your background and kind of how you became passionate about this subject.
Great. Yeah. Well, I started life as a chemist of all things, and then kind of after doing contract research, moved into manufacturing and then manufacturing operations. That's where I became kind of aware of the value of business modeling. So started Landmark, heaven forbid, 30 years ago, and helping clients implement business modeling solutions that would help them understand their processes better, how their resources are deployed, their costs, things like that. And about that same time, Gartner, many of your viewers may know them, they're the world's largest IT advisory firm. They started popularizing kind of the importance of digital twins. DTs, I call them DTs, have been around for probably over 20 years, but only in the last 5 or 6 years has this categorization of what we call digital twin of an organization come into play. But DTOs are kind of, a more fulsome view of the organization.
If you're enjoying this episode of Mic Drop Insights and Lessons from CI Thought Leaders, be sure to like, subscribe, add your comments. We'd love to hear them. Interesting. So for viewers, that haven't heard the term digital twin or DTO before, what is it and what separates it from other, transformational tools?
Right. Well, I mean, digital twins, again, probably some of the viewers have heard of that concept, and I'm sure your mind immediately goes to what's called a discrete digital twin, which think jet engine, right? And how you control. It's all based on kind of real-time data, and it's more of a kind of a control and monitor and control mechanism. What digital twin of an organization, we like to use the term decision time data. So it's not real-time data. We'll use could be daily or shift-based data. It could be up to monthly, which is probably more typical. But what it also does is it goes beyond just a piece of equipment or even a production line or a specific process, and looks at all the other facets in the organization that impact on its ability to deliver output, be those services or products. So things like, management, sales and marketing, HR, the finance, how do all of these functional roles interconnect to ultimately support the full output of the product. So that's really important, particularly when you're looking at costing. If you're in the private sector and you're selling your products and service, what kind of margins are you making based on the level of internal support that is required, not just in the actual hands-on part of the process, but all the things that support that process.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess when you're producing a product, there's a whole lot of administrative stuff that happens behind the scenes that influences the profit margin of that product or service. And that could be everything from the rent that you're paying for the facility, right, per square foot, all the way through to, the benefits that you're paying your employees.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So it sounds complicated. Is it complicated?
No, it does. People are intimidated initially, for sure, because they figure it takes a lot of data And a lot of time they don't have the data, particularly on those support areas per se. So, it's important to follow a methodology and start small and
Okay.
grow as you learn about the techniques, as you learn about the tools. Obviously, there's a software component that needs to be involved in creating something digital.
Mm.
And there's a variety of tools. In fact, Gartner, most recently, they're actually coming out this year with an evaluation, what they call their magic quadrant on DTO solutions. But for the last 3 or 4 years, they've been talking in the market guide about a variety of, I'll call it technology classes, and then specific technologies that fit in that class. So we're part of that, which is great with our partner Qualiware. And that kind of scope is about 16 or 20 different types of technology. So depending on which technology you're kind of going down the path, I'm sure they all have different methodologies for implementation. So we follow kind of an 8-step approach, and take people through, and from a training and education point of view, how they can go about that. Actually, the training is kind of cool because they work through a case study, and we find a lot of people come through that training, and then they say, "Hey, this is not rocket science. We
Oh,
can
that's good.
actually do
Yeah.
that." Yeah. So having that hands-on experience, and then having some kind of examples that we obviously share from previous work that we've done or our partners have done is important as well.
So we're gonna in the chat or in the description of the video, we'll post some links to some other videos and
Sure.
webinars that you've done to help people learn a little bit more about some of what you're talking about, and how it's not as complicated as some might think.
Right.
I think anytime you can break things down into steps, it's always helpful, because now you can take those steps one at a time versus thinking about the masses. So we'll go through those 8 steps here in just a minute. But what's the primary reason that you would say, hey, this is why you need this tool?
Yeah. To be honest, is the biggest benefit we've found is sometimes the softer benefits of getting everybody on the same page. So it's a very visual process, at least the method. I call it the flavor of DTO we use with the software, which is called collaborative business planning. And it allows everybody in there, right from the frontline worker right to the president, the executive suite, to get on the same page about how the business works and all facets of the business. So even though a frontline worker may be, operating one piece of equipment, let's say, they know, what's coming into that equipment. They know where that product goes. And they have a rough appreciation for, their HR and their people selling and so on. But now they get to see all of the connect points. And it's a very open and transparent, very, engaging process from that point of view. So that's kind of the softer benefits. Harder benefits, certainly increasing the understanding and awareness of cost flows, understanding where bottlenecks exist in the process. Now, those are quite common. I know you've had a lot of experience identifying
Mm.
those with lean techniques, but a DTO now gives you the ability to run simulations. So as part of the process, when you build these models, you make sure they give you reliable results based on kind of historical, we call that validation. And then you can take these models and start planning for the future. What happens if I change my product mix? What happens if I take on a new customer? What happens if I'm going to make a process so the continuous improvement group gets involved? They make a tweak. I'm sure from your experience,
Yeah.
there's lots of ideas that come out. So you get to test these ideas and prioritize them. And before you put it in place in the real world, make sure you have a chance to answer those questions.